So now we have nothing.
Should be here in a few minutes.
I've got pretty much now. And make him wait.
They're waiting for one of the officers that's getting sworn in
I
tonight.
know.
I think he's on his
I
way.
think I'm just gonna delay just a couple minutes because I don't.
Hey, James, I don't have any video. Video. Is there anything on?
I'm gonna kind of go slow.
Sorry, say that again?
I don't have any video. Is there anything on with the Zoom screen?
Yep. Yeah, everything's
Steve,
on.
We see you.
Can you see me? I can't see you.
Open your eyes.
As long as it's someone.
Can you see me now?
No.
Can you see me now? How about now?
Nope.
How about now?
Nope.
Now?
Did you ever stop to think?
Now? Whoever thought we'd be.
Can you see us?
Now.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I can see you. I can see Steve, City of Columbia, and myself.
Okay, thank you.
It sounded like Kim.
No,
That's
Kim,
Kim.
is that you? Kim, was that you?
Yes,
Okay.
it was me.
Otherwise, I thought Steve's voice got really high all of a sudden.
Oh, no, it was me.
Yeah, makes more sense.
I think I need to go out and come back in.
What?
He asked if he needed to go out and back in, Steve.
I mean, everything's good on mine. If I don't know, you're saying you can't see us?
Yeah, all I have is the Zoom screen, it says ZOOM on it, no video at all.
Did you click accept video?
I was actually on earlier. I don't know where it went.
Yeah, if you want to try to leave back out and come back in.
Okay, I'll do that.
Pardon? You go to columbiaillinois.com/virtual-meetings and you just click on the Zoom.
I think there's G is in it, yours it won't work.
Yeah, when it's his time, he'll participate.
Yeah, oh, click into that.
I see Kim, so we're good.
Okay, awesome.
I guess I'll bring Luke up here. How's Lance doing?
He's doing well.
Oh, I call him Lance all the time now. I don't call him Luke.
We haven't followed, I think he is too. Hey, we're good. Staying cool.
I think I'm gonna bring Luke right up here this year, and then so will be. City Council meeting to order for July 20th. Roll call, please.
Eversol, Agni, Nemitz, Wrestler, Booth, Holcamp,
Here,
Riddle.
Everybody, please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All righty, under presentations, we have a new officer to swear in, Luke Moravik. Come on up, Luke. Right here. You raise your right hand. I, and state your name,
I, Luke Morbeck,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of Office of Police Officer of the City of Columbia, Illinois,
of the office of police officer of the City of Columbia, Illinois,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome and congratulations.
Usually we don't.
I heard you were busy
Yeah,
today
but
already.
If you don't want to do that, we understand. But welcome aboard,
Thank you.
Officer Morbeck. I'm glad to have you here.
All right.
Really?
Are there any
They're
other?
gonna take up- they're gonna take up-
Oh. Yep.
He's never turned down a picture.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Any other proclamations, recognitions, or presentations? Public input is Paul Gillespie on.
I don't see him.
How about Natalie Lorenz? Natalie Lorenz?
No. If you tell them to, if they go to that, click on the virtual meetings on the left side there.
They've done it before. Both of them.
Yeah, they've been on, they were on, but I don't know if Paul was, but I know Natalie
Paul
and
was.
Dan. Okay.
Yeah, Paul was on the last
Ours
two.
is the week, plan commission, when we can get in, when we can.
I think they were both on a plan commission.
Yes.
Natalie's on. She said, please send that to Paul, she said.
So Natalie's on. Let's go ahead and take Natalie.
She said she's on?
She says, thanks, please ask him to send that to Paul. So she didn't want to say she's on. I'll ask her.
Unless she's got the room bugged, how do we
No, she's not on.
We'll go to comments and announcements, and then we'll go back to public input. I have none. Any aldermen,
No, sir.
department directors? No? Well, let's go ahead and knock out the consent agenda.
We have 5 items on consent agenda. First one is motion to approve the minutes of the July 6th, 2020 public hearing. Motion to approve the minutes of the July 6th, 2020 regular city council meeting. Motion to approve the closed session minutes of the July 6th, 2020 regular city council meeting. Motion to approve payment of vouchers for the period of July 1, 2020 through July 16, 2020 totaling $274,672.82. And then resolution number 2020-17, which is a resolution approving an authorized agent with respect to the Illinois Municipal Retirement Fund.
Thank you very much. Does anybody have any questions, concerns, want anything removed? With there being none, entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. Motion by Alderman Nemeth, second by Alderman Hook. Roll call.
Eversol.
Yes.
Agni. Nemeth.
Yes.
Ressler.
Yes.
Hook.
Yes.
Ocamp.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
And Riddle.
Yes.
Thank you.
James, we good or? Is there any unfinished business?
When I resent them the link, I don't know what else to do.
We'll go ahead and take the resolution 202018 authorizing the execution of a service agreement for the supply of electricity and natural gas
What it is.
for city facilities. You want to take that one?
Yes, sir. What this is, pricing was received today for the city's electrical accounts. Reflects a $12,688 savings over the expiring contract term. That's going to be for a 24-month period, and a $20,107.28 savings over the Ameren default rate over that same period of time.
Just resent them.
The resolution before you this evening authorizes the mayor or city administrator to enter into the agreement.
Anybody have any questions, comments on that? Entertain a motion to,
Okay.
Alderman Nemeth?
Just have you had any questions about it from the public already?
This is just for city facilities.
this
We
is
actually-
just-
Just for now?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, this
So-
isn't the aggregation yet.
So there's no anticipation from anyone that's necessary right now for them to do anything?
No, the aggregation rate,
This is only ours.
yeah, this is just for city facilities.
Okay.
I
just
do
wanted to
have the
make sure.
aggregation information because I did anticipate questions of that nature. Just to kind of refresh the council on this, the current default rate that's offered by Ameren Illinois is 4.39 cents per kilowatt hour. And the current aggregation rate, this is the issue that we had previously discussed where the aggregation rate is higher than the default rate, is 5.496 cents per kilowatt hour. The new rate that was approved in June through the aggregation group is 4.39 cents per kilowatt hour, and that will be effective with the December meter read, and that will be through December of 2022. The rate to compare whenever that rate is in effect from Ameren is 4.546 cents per kilowatt hour. So once again, we are in a situation where the aggregation rate is higher than the default. However, whenever the new rate is effective, it will be lower, and we'll certainly keep everybody up to date if that changes next summer.
Thank
One
you.
quick question with the new aggregation.
Yes,
If
sir.
you had opted out previous, is this like an open enrollment to
You
get back
would
in?
need to contact the home field to
And you could
re-enroll.
get back
Correct.
in, and then if it jumped up, you could opt out again.
I believe you are subject to a 1-year rate lock if you opt out, though.
Okay.
Subject to, I'm sorry.
A 1-year rate lock.
Okay. Okay, and but you don't know the parameters, the dates.
Is this like the open enrollment?
My bad.
The dates by X, we'll find that
You can
out.
opt back in at any time.
Right, okay. All right, so we have resolution 202018. If somebody be so inclined to make that motion by Eversaw, second by Martins. Any other questions, comments? Roll call.
Eversol.
Yes.
Agni. Nemitz.
Yes.
Wrestler.
Yes.
Pook.
Yes.
Fullcamp.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
And Riddle.
Yes.
Thank you.
We have Ms. Lorenz and Mr. Gillespie on yet?
We have Dan. We don't have the other two. I'm still getting no link. And Natalie says, I keep saying the host declined my webinar registration.
I would put it in a different email address.
All right, next will be ordinance 3527, approving a side letter of agreement between the City of Columbia and Illinois Fraternal Order of Police Labor Council. Doug, you want to give us a quick little overview on that? I think
Certainly.
we're all up on it. but-
A recent issue was brought up with regards to the scheduling of officers assigned to certain task force and details such as a detective slots, as well as the MEGZI, the Metro East Auto Theft Task Force, and the DEA. The side letter of agreement between the city and the FOP allows those individuals to work between 8 and 12 hours per day at straight time, and clarifies that all time worked in excess of 12 hours a day and in excess of 84 hours every 2 weeks will be paid at an overtime rate.
Make sense to everybody?
Yes.
All right, entertain a motion to approve as presented.
Alderman Hope.
Second by Holtcamp.
Yes.
Any other questions, comments? Roll call.
Eversol.
Yes.
Agni. Nemitz.
Yes.
Wrestler.
Yes.
Pook.
Yes.
Fullcamp.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Riddle.
Yes.
Thank you.
Dan is on, by the way.
Okay,
Do we have
so we're 50-50 at this point.
We're all going to talk about number 4.
I think there's
There's
three.
Oh, Natalie's on or Paul's on?
Neither one.
No, we
got
got, we got 1 of 3.
No, that's,
Says she doesn't have the option to do that, that way.
We're all going to want to talk under item number 4 anyway.
yep. So we'll just go to the annexation agreement between, what is it? Oh, just, geez. Ordinance 3528, annexation agreement for property having parcel number 042730401800, better known as 3646 Sweetbriar Lane. Any questions, comments on that? With there being none, entertain a motion to approve as presented. Motion by Wrestler, second by Martins. Any other questions, comments? Roll call.
Eversol.
Yes.
Agni.
Yes.
Nemitz.
Yes.
Wrestler.
Yes.
Pook.
Yes.
Fullcamp.
Yes.
Martins.
Yes.
Riddle.
Yes.
Thank you.
Do we have closed session?
Yes, sir, we do.
Yes.
I ain't doing it.
Do you want to take a recess while we try to figure that out?
Well, how long is closed session going to take?
Just, I wanted to update the council on what you and I talked about earlier with Paul and the DOP, or the public safety property.
Okay, instead of going into the discussion of the special use permit at this point, we're still waiting on 2 people that wanted to make comments and had asked to make comments to get them logged on. So what we're going to do is actually, it's kind of strange, but we're going to go into closed session instead of taking a recess. So we can go ahead and take care of our closed session. So I apologize. I'm going to have to ask you guys to leave real quick. We're going to go into closed session. Then we'll come back in. Hopefully those 2 people will have been able to log on. closed session should not take more than 10 minutes. So that's about what the recess would have been anyway. So entertain a motion to go into closed session under 5 ILCS 120-2, paragraph C5, purchase or lease of real property for the use of
And then
the
you
public
could
body. If somebody
reconnect.
make
If
that
you look in that
motion.
virtual events
Who
page, that gives you a
seconded by
video feed.
Agni? Roll
You can
call.
watch it while it, you see when we come
Eversol,
back.
Agni, Nemitz.
Yes.
Or if you type out
Ressler,
your cell phone number, I can text you.
Ocamp,
Yes.
Yes.
Riddle.
Call executive session to order. Yes, please. We can still call it to order.
Are you gonna be able to leave Steve in, James?
Yes, I had something in a disconnect. And then
Really?
we just gotta wait for him to disconnect. And we also have Natalie on here. So I
Are you
guess
sure?
we just want to ask her to disconnect.
She's finally on. Ask her to disconnect and we'll call her and have her come back in.
Dan and Natalie are still here, so.
You know what, you can back out of this and go grab everybody real
I was
quick.
gonna
If it's
say-
gonna be if it's gonna be a bigger hassle when you're back on
That's
again,
right. Just
you can always go back out of the executive session, grab everybody, bring them back. in.
Okay.
rescind, how do you do it?
But
Just
No,
motion,
we're in.
motion,
We have to adjourn closed session.
motion to adjourn closed session.
Also-
Or can we recess closed session?
No.
Yeah, same
Yeah,
difference.
it's easier just to
Motion to
adjourn it.
adjourn closed session by who? Nemitz, roll call. Chris, can you go ahead and let them back in,
Eversol,
yell at
Agni,
everybody?
Nemitz, Ressler, Hoops, Ocamp, Martin,
Yes.
Riddle. I need a motion.
Motion to return to regular session by Martins and Wrestler. Roll call. Did you?
Eversol, Agni, Nemitz, Ressler, Hoops, Ocamp, Martin, Riddle.
I probably went outside to take a smoke.
So Natalie's on,
She is.
Dan's on,
He is.
Mr. Gillespie?
Is not.
Okay.
Steve, you're still with us, correct?
I am.
Dang.
Is Kim still on or chief?
Kim dropped off.
Okay, thank you.
Dan, do you want to touch your microphone? Hello,
What do you have live right now?
Dan and Natalie are on, but
Are their mics hot so we can hear them?
Mine is hot right now, I believe. Can you guys hear me? This is Dan Leto.
Okay, Dan, thank you.
yep, sounds good. What about Natalie?
Natalie?
Yep, I'm on now. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay. And I
We have
think,
Paul too.
and Paul's on?
Good.
Paul, can you hear us? Mr. Gillespie, can you hear us? Let's go ahead and take Natalie. If you can see up Miss Lorenz.
There she is.
There she is. Natalie, you're on.
Okay, thank you. Sorry for all the confusion. I don't know what I did different this time, so I apologize for that. Just wanted to comment on the special use permit. I believe that's up tonight for final decision. So just wanted to just talk to you guys about that for a minute, about the city's decision to grant or not grant the special use permit. Wanted to just clarify one thing. I don't know if it was clear on the last meeting or not before the planning commission that
Natalie?
Can I interrupt you, let you know, this is for discussion tonight, not final vote.
Oh, it is. Okay. All right. I wasn't sure what the procedure was for that. So can you tell me, is it,
It's discussion only tonight, final vote on August 3rd.
on August 3rd? Okay. Well, at any rate, I did want to talk to you about the special use permit and just clarify that it's my understanding that Sunset Overlook's not entitled to this special use permit, that it's Sunset Overlook's burden to show the city that it can handle the special use permit, and it's the city's discretion as to whether to grant or not grant it. So I just wanted to clarify just that one point. And as a relevant factor to that, I wanted to tell the city council or ask the city council to ask this question. Is this going to cause the city further headaches in this Sunset Overlook versus the surrounding neighbors matter? And obviously, I think the answer is going to be yes. And, the question then is, can Sunset Overlook handle the responsibility of following the requirements that are imposed? And I think the answer would be no to that. As I said at the meeting last week, at every turn when Sunset Overlook is given an inch, it takes a mile. The city told Sunset Overlook to move everyone to the front of its building by 9:30 p.m. And we have Sunset Overlook allowing people to stay in the back past that time. My clients have seen people move from the back of the building at 10 p.m. Going to their cars. And it's absolutely relevant to the discussion. And again, Sunset Overlook's not entitled to a special use permit. It's discretionary, and it has not shown an ability to appropriately follow the law as it is time and time again, which of course is completely contrary to what Sunset Overlook has disclosed to its supporters who believe Sunset Overlook when it says it's always been compliant, which, both the local court and the appellate court have held that that's not the case. And, Sunset Overlook doesn't want anybody to know about the fact that it's the appellate court called its arguments absurd, or that it was ordered to pay my client $63,000 in attorney's fees precisely because it was non-compliant. So the special use permit is no question going to cause the city headaches. And you'll note that the application doesn't specifically say whether it's asking for indoor versus outdoor ancillary entertainment. Last week, before the Plan Commission, Mr. Deneke stated that it is only for indoors and can't be for outdoors. And how did Sunset Overlook immediately respond? It responded by saying, we want to have weddings, we want to have live music, we want to have a bubble bus. So, again, here we go. We're going to give an inch and then they take a mile again. So my clients' rights, it's just over and over again, they're being eroded a little at a time. My clients were promised when they initially objected to the Ingolds and the Whites commercializing the property that the zoning code would protect them. They were also promised that the city would be hiring somebody to enforce the zoning code and oversee these things, especially on the weekends, but they haven't seen that happen. And instead, the code's been rewritten to benefit Sunset Overlook to their detriment. And, it's a dangerous precedent. And while it might benefit a fun bar today, tomorrow, maybe it'll benefit a different commercial enterprise in someone else's backyard. And maybe it'll be a strip club or maybe something like a pigsty. I don't know. But these requests should be resolved with careful consideration at public meetings, not private email discussions that decide these matters outside of the public scrutiny. So we would ask that the city live up to its promises and allow the zoning code to protect my clients in this case. So for those reasons, we would ask that the special use permit application be denied.
Thank you very much. Is Mr. Gillespie on? Is he live?
Yes, I am.
Mr. Gillespie, you're on. Yes.
All right. Good evening. Well, here we are once again, fighting this battle that it seems to me it's just always something new with Sunset Overlook. It's never enough. So they got seating outside. Then they got seating in back until 9:30, which they violate. They violate pretty much everything they've been allowed to do. And that's a fact. It's just a fact. And I'm sitting here with a bad situation, and now they want music again. And the music will make a bad situation worse. The city, we've got a situation here where there's 4 homes in a row of long-term residents that have gone on the market within weeks of each other. Doesn't that tell the city something's wrong here? We aren't making this up. This is a real problem that continues to be ignored, and you thumb your nose at good law-abiding citizens in favor of illegal, petty, and disgusting acts that go down the hill. And it's getting really old. And I cannot understand for the life of me why you continue to violate the rights and abuse law-abiding citizens. It is ridiculous. And this just keeps coming up and just keep catering to Sunset Overlook. This bias towards them is really stunning to me, and I don't understand it. Someday I'll really understand the note of why you're doing this. But it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense for the city from a business standpoint. It doesn't make sense for the city from a financial standpoint. So there's something else here, another dynamic that I don't know about. But anyway, long story short, we've got a very bad situation here with people sitting in the back, talking, yelling, cussing. And now we're going to add music inside, which is going to make the music, and they won't keep it inside. I know they won't. They don't obey anything. They won't keep it inside, and it'll just bring more people there and will exacerbate the situation. And it just keeps getting worse. And I just wish somebody would stick up in this government for the citizens on this hill that have been good law-abiding taxpayers for many years. Thank you.
Thank you. Pete and Julie Ingold.
I think Dan's going to speak for us. We just want to say thanks for considering this as a meeting. We have never disobeyed anything that you guys ask us to do. And when we were told, sorry, you can no longer do that, we stopped doing it. We have surveillance every single night that patio is empty by 9:30. I welcome them to call the cops if they don't think it's happening, but we have 24/7 surveillance and it has been emptied by 9:30 every night. We have one of the residents already gone, and the person who lives there now supports us. We have all the other residents support us, and they have young kids, and they're okay. We're not asking for music outside right now. We're asking for what Mr. Dunnicky recommended. And basically, these are things that we were told we could do when we came and proposed our plan to you guys.
Thank you. All righty, thank you. Dan, are you still on?
Yes, and thanks for helping me get lined up as well. I want to echo what Julie said and thank you guys for the time. And really, I'll be brief, but I do need to address a few things. Frankly, what Sunset is asking for, and as Julie had mentioned, was to basically adopt and reconcile formally in the code what had been promised to them or what had been suggested to them of what they couldn't do at the outset of the inception of this business. And I think we all know that there has been some litigation, and based on a court's interpretation, the court has disagreed with what the city had done historically, and in fact what Scott Dunnicky had provided in several memorandums as to what the city's position was on outdoor seating, on entertainment, etc. And so really what we're asking for, what Sunset is asking for, is not anything new. It's not anything novel or to extend beyond what the code calls for. It's basically to formalize and allow Sunset to operate as they intended, and as has the city and the numerous persons involved in the city had advised them that they could operate. So the application was more open-ended. I understand that. And to address one of Natalie's points, Scott Dunnicky had presented a proposal that would restrict everything to indoors. And what we're asking for right now for consideration in a final vote would be to basically approve Mr. Dunnicky's proposal and plan. Now, I know some things were brought up by Pete and Julie at the last meeting. And, this really is a space that I think could benefit a lot of people, could provide for some nonprofits to come in and do some events. And while I think that we would like to discuss and address the possibility for in the future to do some things outside, I think right now that's not really appropriate. Right now, we're just asking to approve Mr. Dunnicky's plan, allow them to move to operate indoors within those limitations. And I think Julie's already mentioned it. There's no evidence that Sunset has failed to comply with anything that this city or any of the councils had asked them to do. They were found in violation of the statute or of the code by the court's interpretation, but that never had anything to do with failure to comply with what the city advised them to do. So now we're trying to reconcile that. And lastly, I mean, I'm kind of appalled and I think it's ridiculous that Ms. Lorenz is trying to threaten additional litigation against my clients and or the city as a basis not to approve this action. Sunset has made an application in good faith and business that wants to assist the community and comply within whatever restrictions that this city council would place in front of them. They've historically shown a willingness to do so, and they will do that. So, I frankly think that, the residents and the opposition's threat of additional litigation against multi-parties is just wholly inappropriate. We would ask you to approve that, discuss it and approve it. If you have questions of either myself or Mr. and Mrs. Ingold, we'd be happy to address those to ensure that, this panel and this council has all the information they need to approve this. And absent any questions, I'll thank you for your time.
All right, Dan, thank you. Anybody else have any questions, public input? Julie, if it's something that you haven't already said, or?
I just want to state on the call that Mr. Freeland just flipped both of us off when he walked out.
Okay, anybody else out there, James?
The only thing is Paul has his hand up.
Okay, bring him in. Paul, you got to unmute yourself.
Hello?
Okay, if you have something new to add, but I just want to make sure that everybody's aware that this isn't a point counterpoint. It's not a debate. So if you have something new to add, please do.
No, everything, they distort the facts constantly. So this isn't about facts. So I'll refrain from stating more facts.
Okay, thank you. All righty. And that's it for public input? Nobody else has that? Okay. So number 4, discussion of a special use permit application to allow ancillary entertainment on property zone C1 neighborhood business district located at 11604 Bluff Road. Mr. Dunnicky.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. I'm going to forego the lengthy case history. I think we're all familiar with this, but and I'll get straight to the staff report. I will say that after the Plan Commission meeting and Ms. Lorenz had brought up at the Plan Commission meeting that not all she felt there was a discrepancy in the amount of public feedback, the written feedback that had been reported. So I reviewed everything, and I did find one email that could be construed as being opposition. So I did include that in there. I found no others in my case file. I've received no other, and that's the reason why I did send an email to the council asking if there was anything that had not been forwarded to me for the case file, that you do so. And I did receive a few emails from Alderman Holtkamp, but they were regarding specifically the zoning action and said nothing about the special use. So that's about as much as I can report, except for the other day, I did also get an updated one of the form letters that Julie Ingold provided me that was signed by the new homeowner that the home that was previously Chris Bowers. So they did sign the letter of support, just for what it's worth. Everything else, as far as the written comments that we've received, are outlined in the agenda item report and in the staff report. Getting to the heart of the matter here, last Monday, Plan Commission did vote, and their recommendation was approval. It was a unanimous vote based on the following findings. Because the zoning code restricts ancillary entertainment to indoor locations and prohibits sound amplification to outdoor locations, the requested special use should have little impact on surrounding development. Approving the requested special use will improve opportunities for income that enhance the property's value with little impact to public health, safety, and welfare. Approving the special use request will cause little, if any, harm to the public, while denying the request would be a hardship to the property owner. The subject property is suitable for the proposed use, special use, and the proposed special use is consistent with the comprehensive plan. Those are the findings that were adopted by the Plan Commission. And as I mentioned, their recommendation was approval, subject to the following conditions. Number one, ancillary entertainment shall be restricted to indoor locations per section 17.40.010 of the zoning code. Number two, all live musical performances shall conclude by 8 p.m. Sunday through Thursday and by 10 p.m. Friday through Saturday. Number three, no temporary signs or banners advertising entertainment events or sales promotions shall be allowed without first receiving an approved sign permit. And fourth, sound amplification, the use of speakers, PA systems, amplifiers, etc., shall take place only within the primary structure and may not take place on the front porch, on patio areas, or in locations elsewhere on the subject property. So all of the other materials were included in the packet. Once again, that was the recommendation from Plan Commission and staff, and I'd be happy to take any questions from you if you have any.
All right, any questions, comments from the council? Alderman Ressler?
Scott, so, so I just want to be clear on the ancillary definition of entertainment is that they cannot go ahead and amplify things to where they're intended to be heard outdoors. Is that what you just said in here?
Well, that's actually part of the zoning code, not the ancillary entertainment, but that is correct.
So the intention is that the sound should remain pretty much indoors, not carrying over to the adjacent property owners.
That is the intent in the way that the conditions and the code itself
So if
have
we
been
would
amended.
find a violation on that you can hear the music in the outside, that would be a violation.
No,
No, that's what I was.
it's
trying to
not.
find.
I mean, they can't make it to, I mean, sound carries. There's
I know,
nothing you
I
can
know.
do about it. It's if they're deliberately trying to make anything sound outside of the building by amplification, or they're making it loud enough to where it can, to where there's a reasonable expectation for it to be heard outside the property lines. That was the way the code was written, and that's the way it would be interpreted.
Alderman Agnew?
Yeah, I noticed the detail.
Mike?
I noticed in the detail, the music is being played and waiters and waitresses are going out the back door to serve people. There'll be a few seconds of leak of that
There will.
noise. Is that considered a noise? To
It
me,
would
I'm
not-
saying it is.
No, not the way it was written. That is the reason why the clause that was at debate the last time we spoke when you adopted the amendment to the zoning ordinance. That's the reason it was worded specifically the way it was, so that we weren't having to chase down people who were closing car doors too loud, or or just because the door opened or closed, that there was some extra noise coming out. I mean, I don't have the staff to be chasing around silliness like that. Sorry, I just don't.
Because an acoustical guitar will be fairly silent when that door is open and closed. But if there's any type of amplification through electric means, it's going to be loud.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have any comments, questions? All right, well, as we said, this was for discussion only, and it will be brought to the council at the next meeting. Now I'll entertain a motion to go into closed session under 5 ILCS 120-2 C5, purchase or lease of real property for the use of the public body. By Nemeth, second by Riddle. Roll call.
Eversol.
Yes.
Agnew.
Yes.
Nemitz.
Yes.
Wrestler. Cook.
Yes.
Holcamp.
Yes.
Martins.
Yes.
And Riddle.
Call executive session to order. Roll call, please.
Eversol.
Yes.
Agnew.
Yes.
Nemitz.
Yes.
Wrestler.
Yes.
Cook.
Yes.
Holcamp. Martins.
Yes.
And Riddle.